In this video, I want to share with you guys some of the things that you should know in Fortnite Save the World. These tips might be more useful to those of you who just started playing the game, but for those of you who are more experienced, some of the tips might still be useful for you. Please leave a comment down below to let me know which of the tips you find the most useful. If you find this video helpful, please like it and share it and subscribe to my channel for more Fortnite Save the World videos to come. Stay tuned until the end of the video, as the last tip will be extremely useful for you. So let's get into it. Don't forget to recycle weapons that aren't needed. So for example, here you can see there are two lower levels which I got from loot boxes or from the storm chests. I usually just do recycle, select them both, and then confirm recycle to get some resources back. Confirm. And that can also help you save space and manage your inventory better, and you can have more space for other useful things. Whenever you open those loot boxes, there are chances that it drops you a lower level trap. There's two things you can do with it. You can either just put it while you're doing the mission, and the other thing you can do is also to recycle them to get some resources back. So for example, these three, I don't want them, so I can just recycle these three for these resources, which you can use them to craft other useful things. One of the things that you might not notice at the beginning is that you don't know what to do with the storage. So basically, storage is another place for you to store your resources, but just in the menus, or you can access the storage in the Storm Shield mission. So for example, the reason why I store so many mats here is because I usually have to build while I do the SSD, so I can extract all the resources while I build for the SSDs. Since your mats will be full at times, and then whatever you farm will not go in your inventory, and that's wasted resources. So that's why I recommend always try to avoid having like full mats in your backpack. Just make sure that everything you've harvested goes into your inventory. The collection book basically is a place where you can log everything in: your schematics, your heroes, your survivors, your defenders, to gain XP. And leveling the collection book will give you certain rewards according to the level of the collection book. And when you level up in the collection book, the level is shown right here, you get different rewards. So for example, at level 100 you get a legendary soldier, which is called the Raider. This guy, Raider Raptor. This will be awarded when you are at level 100 in the collection book. But other than that, I think the collection book is just something that you should do when you're high leveled. So when you're low leveled, never lock in any of your weapons in the collection book, because you will lose access to them and you can't craft the weapon that you lock into your collection book. For skill tree, there are different tiers, and you can get to different tiers when you're in different zones. So for example, when you are starting off in Stonewood, you can access to skill tree tier 1. When you get to Plankerton, you can get access to skill tree tier 2, and so on. And each time when you level up to the next skill tree, you would get 1000 resource capacity increased, which is extremely useful. So at the very end, when you're at tier 4, you can have a maximum of 5000 of each mat. However, research tree is independent to your quest progress. So that means whenever you have gathered enough points in the tree, you can progress to the next one. So for example, my tier 1 is totally maxed out, and then you can proceed to tier 2. Let's take a look at tier 2. So when you're done at tier 2, you can start to work on tier 3. When you're done at tier 3, you can start to work on tier 4. And each of the tiers will require different amount of research points. And the higher the tier, the more points are required for each skill point. So there are certain slots that you should look out for whenever you unlock the research tree and the skill tree. So for example, let's take a look at the tier 1. So you can see there are squares, and these squares represent the survivor squad. So you should get these points as quickly as possible, as this will allow you to slot in survivors into your survivor squad. That means you can gain PL because your PL is basically made up of the survivor squad. So depending on the survivor levels, the higher the survivor level, the higher your PL will be. And the other thing that you should look out for in research trees are these circle with little boxes inside them, since these will increase your backpack size. And it is super useful because for most of the time your backpack will be full and you want to have more space to work with. Last but not least, I also want to talk to you guys about something that not everyone might know. So if you take a look at the loot tab, go to events, there are a weekly items store here. So you always want to buy all the legendary flux that you can each week, because it's only limited 50 per week. It has actually been increased already, so before you can only buy 25 per week, and since now they changed it so that you can upgrade the rarity of your weapons, it is super useful for you to always have some of these legendary flux in stock so that you can increase the rarity of your weapon. Or since the last patch, you can also now buy weapons and heroes from the collection book. And guess what you need? You will need, not the road trip, normal heroes. For example, you want to buy support specialist. You can recruit hero, and it requires 100 legendary flux. That means after 2 weeks, you will have enough legendary flux to unlock a legendary hero. So guys, don't forget to always buy the legendary flux each week, just to make sure that you have some in inventory, so when you need, you can always buy the things that you want. That's all for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it, please like the video, share it, and please leave a comment below and tell me which of the tips you find the most useful. I will see you in the next one.